Number 20, these simple onboarding conversations. So when people come into your organizations, the first conversation that you have with them is really super important, right? Remember, we go back to the parable of the sower and the 30, 60, 90, and just the averages, right? So understand that not everyone wants to build a huge business, right? Not everyone has a sense of urgency, right? Some people do, and if they do, it's kind of your job as their business partner or leader to help keep them focused and don't quit, right? Why? Because they're going to run into disappointment. They got to have a reason to get over it, okay? So there's a couple simple conversations that you can have with people, right? So I might say, hey, Mike, awesome, welcome to the team. So how do you see this fitting into your life the next couple weeks? If Mike's like, well, little Jimmy's got a baseball game on Thursday, and then the next week, Aunt Susan's got a potluck, and so it might be a while before I get around to spending 5 minutes on the training. Okay. No real sense of urgency, right? I'm like, cool. We know like where to put you. Does that make sense? Hobbyist level person. I'm not going to try and make you into a rock star business builder. Maybe later, maybe at some point. You don't count Mike out, okay? 6 months later, he might be like, I'm ready. And bam, he's killing it. You're like, dude, what? Like, I forgot about you. Like, where did you come from, right? But if you're talking to Bob and you're like, Bob, so how do you see this fitting into your life in the next week or two? And Bob's like, what do you mean? I thought there was like a plan, like to do this. Like, oh, you have a sense of urgency. All right, let's get to it. Does that make sense? Let's start today, right? So very good to understand where the person is, right? So if Bob's like, dude, like, we got to get this done. I'm like, awesome. I got to ask you some questions here. Why do you want to do this business? Like, really, why? Like, here's something to understand. We're going to talk a bit about the creative process and creative tension, right? One thing we need, if there's tension between these two, like a rubber band on top here, like, you can't pour your life's passion into compromise. Like, I need to know, Bob, like, why do you want to do this, right? Does that make sense? Like, we really need leverage on why you would do this uncomfortable thing. I'll tell you a super funny story. So Tony Robbins is talking to this woman, and she's very committed to her health, and she's like a vegan, and she's like a colon hydrotherapist and all this type of stuff, but she's very stressed out, and she's not changing how she approaches life to reduce her stress. And he's trying to get some leverage on her, because if you don't have leverage, you're not going anywhere, right? And he's like, how, in your professional opinion, how long would someone live if they like operate in this much stress? She's like, maybe to 36. She goes, how old are you? 35. And she goes, but I can't change. I just can't change. I can't change. I can't change. It's like, how are you going to feel that your daughter is at your funeral and she knows that you could have changed, but you never did? She goes, oh, it'd be very sad. Be very sad. But, I just can't change. I can't change. And he thought for a bit. He's like, man, I need some leverage. She goes, you know what? Your daughter will probably get a new mom. I bet she's going to be a mediator. And the woman lost it. No, there's no way. I'm not going to let my daughter have a mom who's a mediator. Like, I'm not a vegan, and I'm just making light of the situation. But that was what actually motivated her. So, be clear that everyone has a different motivation, and it needs to be absolutely honest, right? If your motivation is to, want to sit on your front porch and thumb your nose at your neighbors as they go out to work every Monday morning, like, okay, that's the reason, right? I knew a guy who, he wanted to be so successful that he would be on the cover of Success magazine because his relatives made fun of him in this business, and he wanted to be so successful that they would see his face on a magazine in a grocery store. I'm like, okay. Maybe it's like your kid goes to school with a bunch of hoodlums, right? And you need $600 more a month to make sure this kid goes to private school. Like, this has got to happen. Like, so we need a reason for you to start on this entrepreneurial venture, which is an adventure. Does that make sense? It's anything in life truly worth having is a minimum of a one step past a legitimate opportunity to quit. Okay, so we need to know your why, okay, because we're going to have to come back to it later, okay? And actually, we're going to go on to number 21 here, the leadership without guilt. That's where we're going to talk about why do we need to know, like, exactly where are you at and why you would want to do this.